Hey, it's Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗏. Welcome to this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. And in case you are visually astute, you will notice that my camera looks a little different this week from the last 2 weeks. And it's not because I've timeline jumped, it's because I'm in outer space. Actually, no, I'm not in outer space. I'm in Canada, sort of like outer space, but a little bit more grounded. Anyway, so I'm using a different computer. Now this week, we are going to be talking about experiencing your new reality. And this is like number 3 in a series of Spiritual Medicine Digest videos where we are talking about timeline jumping, quantum jumping, and what happens next. So I have lots of interesting things to tell you today. But before that, in case you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and perhaps the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. And we are going to be doing TOLPAKAN Healing Activation in just a little bit. So hang on and let me tell you more about experiencing our new reality. So just in case you didn't watch the last 2 weeks video, I'm going to summarize what's happened since then. It's like episodes of Dallas, what happens next? Oh boy, I really dated myself, right? Some of you young people are like, Dallas, what's Dallas? It was a TV series that was very, very popular back in the, 80s, 90s, something like that. Okay, who here has watched Dallas? Well, I didn't watch it that much. JR, though, who shot JR, right? Anyway, I digress. Okay, let's get back to our topic. Yeah, my team's like, what are you talking about? Because they're all younger than me, right? Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I talked about timeline jumping. So timeline jumping is where we resonate our field to a level of resonance or expansion that is in alignment with our ideal body timeline, where there's heaven and earth, where there's peace, where we are all getting along and we have sacred economy and all these kinds of things, right? So we literally vibrate to that state with our resonant field, if you will. And then we found out last week that to get to the material form of that new reality, 2 bridges had to be built, the belief bridge and the awareness bridge that helps us remember how to vibrate holistically. And now, this week, what I've noticed, aside from the amazing synchronicities and the miracles, and I've not enough time to tell you about the miracles part, so you're going to have to just check in on the Light Medicine community. We'll put the link below and it's free to join. What cool things have happened in my life in relationship to my dad, who is supposedly dying. He's still alive and doing relatively well, given all the circumstances. It's really a miracle. This week, there are 3 things that have been, if you will, created or built. I liken them to kind of like pillars. Yeah, kind of like pillars. So as we go to that place where we resonate first with that new timeline, and then we build these bridges that fully activate, and then we complete these bridges, the next quote-unquote steps are these pillars that help us materialize in the physical, if you will, of that heaven on earth. So I wrote some notes here, so I'm going to refer to my notes and share what these 3 pillars are and explain a little bit about them. So the first one is soul resonance. Soul resonance. The cool thing is the minute you start listening to this part, these pillars are already activating in you. We practically don't have to do any sort of TOLPAKAN healing activation at all. It's just your awareness, just boom, it starts to complete, and it happens within our time, happens within seconds. So our soul is resonating now with the new higher resonant energy field of who we are. So let me back up just a tad. My mentor, Marcus Bird, he did a workshop. Activator Healer Coach is the program that I'm part of, level 2 in his program. And he spoke a little bit about the resonant energy field and its stability and how very, very stable it needs to be, especially through this ascension process, because there's a lot of destabilizing factors, including the raising of our vibration is destabilizing in and of itself, not to mention all the other shenanigans that are happening to really wake us up, right? So here's the cool thing. It's like we are at a level of expansion, if you will, of our resonant energy field. And then as we stabilize in time and space, we get healthier and healthier, and we actually attract more of what we desire and less of what we don't desire. And then through the expansion or ascension process, we gain a higher degree of resonant energy vibration. So it's like, okay, so I got this clairaudient, kind of way of explaining it. Okay. So it is like you're seeing a key. Like say you're seeing the key of C, right? Now, the next note up, that's a third up from that, is an E. And then the next note up is a G. And then you have the next C in the next octave. So if you play them all together, you get like a harmonious sounding chord. Right? Those of you who are music totally get what I'm talking about, right? So we have this harmonious chord, and as we ascend, it's like we have these higher and higher octaves, higher and higher layers, and we can play instead of, how I started in piano at age 10, do, re, mi, do, really, really simple stuff. We're now playing like Mozart symphonies, right, as we ascend. So our soul is resonating now with that symphony versus the do, re, mi song. It's still you, but it's a higher resonant version of you, and we're stabilizing to that higher octave of time and space. I know, I probably lost a couple of you, but that's okay. Just kind of feel it in here. Feel it in here. Not so much in here. Sometimes it doesn't make sense up there. Okay, so just know that is completing, if not already complete. The second pillar is waking the dream, I called it. So we are the dreamers of the dream. The dream is that we are having a solid human existence. And we think that's when we're awake. And then when we're sleeping in the human body, we're actually dreaming. Well, guess what? We're dreaming whether we're awake or asleep. The difference is, in the quote-unquote waking state, we don't understand that we are dreaming. And we have created this dream reality for us to experience what we desire to experience, to evolve our souls, and to just have experiences. So sometimes we have experiences that are very challenging and difficult. And yet we've actually dreamed the situation up so we could play this game, right? So waking the dream is that pillar of true knowing that because we are dreaming this dream, and we can wake up at any time and realize, oh, we are source. We are just a fractal of source having a human experience. We then gather our abilities to go, oh, I want to change the scenery, and that's like you jumping into that new timeline, experiencing something new. Now, here's the cool thing. You've learned the lessons from the illness, right? You've learned the lessons from the hardships. You've learned the lessons from whatever. You will not forget those lessons. They will come with you. But the human existence of, say you used to have, like I did, chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, right? I learned a lot through that. I wouldn't not have gone through that, right? In order to gain what I've gained right now. At the same time, if there are residual energies that are patterns, blueprints, whatever, relative to chronic fatigue, what if I timeline jumped to a timeline where I never, ever, ever had actually chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, yet I gained all the wisdom from having had that in an alternate timeline? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that it's like, hey, I have this dream, and I played this game for a while, and I got all these really cool wisdom pieces from that game, and now I'm going to play a different game and experience something different, but I'm going to keep the wisdom. Okay, so that's kind of a way to explain that. So we become lucid dreamers in our waking state. And it probably wouldn't hurt to actually practice lucid dreaming in our dream state, meaning that you're able to control your dreams. And I am not an expert in this area at all. I know there are several books on it. I know one of the ways you can do it or start doing is actually writing down your dreams at night and having some sort of key, that you remember, so that during the dream, you can remember the key, And one of the keys that I have, although it's not something I actually did it on purpose and I'm not totally successful, mostly not successful at remembering that I'm in a dream, is that when I have to go pee in the dream, I will find a bathroom and there's always something wrong with it. Like it's plugged up, there's no stall, it's in the men's bathroom, there's something. I know the intimate details of my dreams. But anyway, so there's something that prevents me from peacefully peeing, partly because, my consciousness is like, actually don't want you to pee the bed, so we're going to give you some hints. You know what I mean? But that, in a lucid dream, I'd be like, oh, I'm dreaming. Shoot, this was really fun dream. How do I continue this and not pee, right? And pee my pants. So one of the lucid dreams that I had previously is in this waking life, I had what we would call frozen shoulder for many, many, many months. My husband at the time was very concerned that I didn't get an x-ray. Luckily, I'm a medical doctor, and I was like, do I need an x-ray? So it's like, nope. So I'm like, no, I don't need an x-ray, right? But it was pretty stiff and pretty painful. And I wasn't quite figuring out what I was supposed to figure out at that point. This is before TOLPAKAN Healing, way before. And one night I had this dream that Dr. Jeffrey Thompson, who is a colleague of mine, who does a lot of sound healing stuff, really cool stuff. He's actually a chiropractor turned sound healing, expert. And he was manipulating my shoulder, the problem shoulder, on the sound table. And there was no pain. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Then I realized I'm dreaming. This isn't quote unquote real, right? And as I'm waking up from the dream, part of me was like, no. Don't wake up, yeah, right? But I knew I was waking up, but I had the wherewithal to say to myself, memorize the feeling in your body, because it had been months. I didn't remember what it felt like to have a pain-free shoulder. But I told myself, memorize this feeling, right? So as I woke up, knowing that I was dreaming, okay, as I woke up, I lay there with my arm in some position, no pain. And I thought, okay, I'm memorizing this blueprint, memorizing this feeling. Finally, I started moving. Now, I did still have some pain. However, it was after that things really started moving. And I had the wherewithal to figure out I was low in minerals. A friend of mine had started working on breaking up some fascia. And because of the dream, because I took the minerals, whatever she was doing was now working. And I pretty much, resolved that issue. So that's an example of lucid dreaming where I realized I was dreaming. So let's move on to the third pillar. Third pillar is grounding everything through love. Sounds easy. May or may not be, right? So we're talking about experiencing, materializing, growing everything through love. Why Source told me grounding or ground through love? I'm not really sure why we're using the word ground, except that does make me think about materializing, right? We're talking about us timeline jumping to the timeline where we are perfectly healthy, radiantly happy, and perhaps never had the trauma of the childhood, perhaps never had the chronic illness or whatever in that past to which we're jumping to. So maybe that's why it's grounding. So we're grounding our sense of self in that reality. So those are the three pillars. So what are we doing for the activation? Well, first of all, we'll go ahead and make sure that all these three pillars are activated for you, but also that all your parts of you, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, are functioning and resonating in that coherent state together at that higher resonance expansion that you are most likely either partway there or all the way there. So that may be really, really helpful for you as well. So if you're ready, you want to receive the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation, let's get into the still point together. Go ahead and rub your hands. This is just to get energy moving and for you to be able to sense it in your body. Relax, close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so. Focus on the inside of your body. Feel any energy, movement, heat, tinglings, waves in your hands or wherever you are moving. Follow that flow wherever it goes in the body. Now imagine yourself in your ideal new body, in that new timeline that you timeline jumped, being willing fully to let go of whatever traumas or issues or hurts or physical illness that you may have had in the other timeline. And just making the intention to thank it for its wisdom, and then just letting go of having to have that past, so you can fully welcome the current timeline, radiant health, knowing full well that there is a lag of experience of that instantaneousness of which we all want, but for some reason it is for the highest and greatest good because of the construct in this reality that we have decided to, as humans, experience. So let's go ahead and make sure that that first pillar is activated. We now command that the soul resonance pillar be activated for you with ease, being grace, in the highest best way. It's now commanded that the waking the dream pillar be activated fully with ease, being grace for you. It's now commanded that the grounding through everything through love pillar be fully activated with ease, being grace, in the highest and best way. Now let's do the next part. And now command that all parts of you, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, be fully able to resonate at that higher resonant energy field. That your soul is able to resonate there. All parts of you, a beautiful orchestra of energies of who you really are at that highest level. Anything preventing that, be healed now, be shifted now. We ask our source teams to help us. For this and all the blessings, we give our thanks and gratitude for this activation. So go ahead and just take a breath in and out, fully anchoring that in this moment. And feel free to open your eyes. Go ahead and post in comments or chat below about what that was like for you, whether you connected with anything that I was talking about today. If you were completely lost, that's okay too. We can continue the conversation in the Light Medicine community, and that's free to join. We'll put the link below as well. So I have a couple of announcements for today. Number one is our radio show for Monday. So Monday, we are re-airing a very, very important episode with Dr. Kevin Krenitsky. The Still Point is the book that he wrote. And I have to say that of everything that's going on in the world, this book may give you the most peace. And it's basically the simple solution to enlightenment, if you will. And it's not, it's not that. Next to stillness through observing internal movement may be the fastest way to be and to be at peace as well. So one of the things that Dr. Kevin talks about is that we have this belief that we are separate, that we are isolated. And that includes the belief that we are separate from the plants, we are separate from the animals, etc., etc. And there are some parts of this that might trigger some people, including a little discussion about should we be eating meat or not? And the answer is probably not what you're expecting. So just a fair warning. This is a very, very important interview. So if you have not heard it before, I highly recommend that you listen to that. So other announcements. We actually have a free workshop coming up, and it is our monthly phototherapy patching workshop in the Light Medicine community. And this one is called the Wood Element. So we're going to dive into the 5 elements one at a time, and the first one up is wood. Why? Because we are entering spring, and that is the wood element. So we're going to start with wood first and talk about the different meridians like liver and gallbladder and some of the challenges that happen if your wood element is out of balance, including migraines, eye issues, itching, tendon issues, ligamentous issues, sometimes digestive issues, and the list goes on. So if you are interested in learning more about the wood element in Chinese medicine and how to use phototherapy patches to support the wood element and the balance of all the 5 elements, check out this free workshop in the Light Medicine community. It's free for all, and the recording will be posted in the Light Medicine community if you cannot make it live. And that is happening Friday, March 15th at 12 noon Eastern. And remember, that by that time we will have moved to Eastern Daylight Time. So we will have jumped ahead. So those of you in Europe and Australia, go to worldtimebuddy.com, figure out what time it is for you. Okay. Next announcement is that we have our monthly Tuesday mini healings at 11 a.m. again, Eastern Daylight Time. Is that right? Yes, Eastern Daylight Time. And that will be at 11 a.m. And there is a link that you can request some healing for yourself or a loved one who gives permission. And you will be placed in a 24-hour healing basket, even if you can't show up live. So definitely go ahead and put in your information in the type form. And the replays will be available to the Light Medicine community afterward as well. And I think there's going to be a lot of really, really great stuff happening in the group healing, and then we will definitely spend some time on doing some TOLPAKAN healing demonstrations for a couple of lucky people who Source decides that it's a good idea to do one for them. So join me Tuesday. And last but not least, we are still in the early bird saving stage of the Light Warrior Training Camp. So that's July 14th through 19th. We'd love to see you in person. I believe that the first day, that healing session, aside from the advanced phototherapy patching workshop we're having before that, that healing session, I can just feel is going to be absolutely profound. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some timeline jumping stuff there, and by July, this is going to be a very evolved thing. It might even become its own product or something like that in the future. I don't know. But those that are coming to the event, I do want to let you know that the first 30 people will be getting the Blessings Bundle. And the Blessings Bundle will include, number one, a virtual pre-event online workshop, and we're going to be doing demonstrations and things like that on various different topics, including soul typing and soul mission. So if you happen to be there, we might be doing your soul mission and figuring what that is. The second thing is you actually have a physical Blessings Bundle, which will include the Sensitivities to Superpower pen, and I just gave all the rest of what I had available to my mom because I tried 3 pens at her house, but Mom and Dad's house, and they didn't work. So I'm like, I am confiscating those, okay? And you're going to use this one. And she loved it so much, right? She was like, of all the gifts, you're so generous, Kara. Of all the gifts, the pen is my favorite. Although maybe braiding her hair is a favorite. But anyway, pen is her favorite. So I just gave them everything I had. So I'll be ordering new pens for the Blessings Bundle, as well as an Ascension 3 gift. Yes, you'll be getting Ascension 3 gift as well, and super excited. There may be some other gifts in there. So definitely register as soon as you can. The first 30 will get the Blessings Bundle absolutely free as part of their gift to registering, and Super Early Bird ends at the end of this month. Yes, so July 14th, 19th, be there or be square. All right, so that's it for this week. And next week I will probably still be in, well, I will be in Canada, perhaps in outer space, who knows. And I look forward to connecting with you in the Light Medicine community in between time. Thank you so much for joining me on the Spiritual Medicine Digest. Go ahead and hit the like button if you like this video, and share it if you like that. And remember to subscribe if you're brand new. And lots of love to you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.